If you have already watched some of my videos of video games, you already know what kind of games I like on my channel, like Super Mario Brothers, or Ratchet and Clank, or even Sonic the Hedgehog. But what everyone doesn't know about me is that I discovered these video games or these franchises not from like commercials or advertisements, but something very unique. I find those franchises that I like to play by crossover games. That's right. I am a huge fan of crossover games. That's where I find out what franchises are like, but kind of, by their gameplay style and how they approach the crossover, like Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. It gives you both elements of both games, and it actually has an interesting story, so I may play those type of games in the future. Even crossover games for cartoons, like Nicktoons Unite, where it crossover with SpongeBob SquarePants, Danny Phantom, the Fairy Odd Parents, and Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, as they team up against their own nemesis. I wasn't really a big fan of Danny Phantom because I was a kid and focused on high school, but after playing that game got me interested in Danny Phantom. Even anime games like, okay, I couldn't find a picture of the anime game I was thinking of. I know there's Jump Force and that is not the game I was thinking of. It was like J Ultimate Super Jump Stars, like a DS game. It was like a Super Smash Bros. Game, but on the DS. And it has showing jump characters like Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Bobo, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Bleach. There was a lot of franchises, and I accidentally bought it as a kid. And then I played it. Took me a while, mostly because it was in Japanese, but I enjoyed playing that game, and it got me interested in the mangas that I could read, because the title was in English, and that was probably the only games in English. And while some crossovers are weird, like Kingdom Hearts, like a mixture of Square Enix characters and Disney characters, sometimes it works, like in this example, Kingdom Hearts. Or like Disney Infinity, which is not a very good example because everything is owned by Disney. But another good example of a weird crossover that works is the Marvel vs. Capcom series, where they put comic book characters and video game characters into a fighting game. It was good, and it was fun. Well, it's not very good anymore because of Infinite, but that's a different story. But the most famous crossover, to my mind, are the franchises that actually introduced me to a lot of franchises that I play on my channel, like PlayStation All-Stars, where they introduced me to Parappa the Rapper, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Ape Escape, and Ratchet and Clank. I can't really say Little Big Planet because I already knew Little Big Planet beforehand. And Super Smash Brothers, where they introduced me to franchises like almost every franchise that Nintendo introduced in that game. Except for Pokemon, because when I was little, I watched the anime when I was like 5, which I don't remember any of the episodes. But I do remember Pikachu, so that's something. But even though I like Super Smash Bros. And PlayStation All-Stars, those are not my favorite crossovers. My number one favorite crossover has to be the Mario and Sonic franchise. If you don't know, before Sega became a third-party company, a video game company, Sega and Nintendo used to be the biggest video game companies around. And they were at each other's throats for a long time. But then after that, Sega made a Dreamcast game, and they made one game that kind of was their most expensive game, but it did not sell well. But now Nintendo and Sega is now on good terms, and Sega was actually, well, here's the thing, how this game got created. Sega was called out by the industry or the company that hosts the Olympic Games to make Olympic games, and they can use Sonic characters, but it didn't feel like it wouldn't sell well just with Sonic characters. And since the Olympic Games is a game that unites all countries and nations, they decided to recruit their old rival, Nintendo. So Sega went to Nintendo and asked, "Hey, could we use some Mario characters for a crossover game for the Olympics?" And Nintendo like, "Sure." And that's how that game, the franchise, is born. By the time that game got made, and when it got announced on April 1st, I already knew about Mario and Sonic by that point, but I thought it was a prank, so I didn't take it seriously. Okay, truth be told, I thought it was real. And I did not realize it was April Fool's on that day. Because I showed it to my brother and sister, and they say that's a fake. Until the actual trailer got announced, and then I got excited and played it. In fact, it helped me understand not only a little bit more about Mario and Sonic relationship, about their past and the future, and about all the characters and friends and foes, but it actually taught me a little bit about the Olympic Games. Because I kinda did not care about the Olympic Games before I played Mario and Sonic. But over the years, I played all of them. I played all of the games so far on my channel. Well, except for the handheld version, but that would be very soon. But let's just say, the latest one got better, but it still can add a little bit more improvement. So in this video, I'm going to tell you my ideas on how they can improve the Mario and Sonic franchise. Well, everyone, including me, know that if you want to improve a sports game like Mario and Sonic, you need to improve of the roster. And I mean the entire roster. So instead, I'm going to tell my ideas about the playable characters for this game. And this may take a while. Well, not really. It will take kind of short, but trust me on this, it will be interesting of what characters I choose to become playable characters for this franchise. For starters, let's talk about the characters that are already playable in the Mario and Sonic franchise. Okay, for the Mario side, we got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Wario, Daisy, and Waluigi that are all playable in every game. But after the Winter Olympic Games, Donkey Kong and Bowser Jr. became playable characters, and then so on and so forth. And on the Sonic side, we got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, Amy, Shadow, Blaze, and Vector, all playable in every game thus far, and ever since the Winter Olympics, Metal Sonic and Silver became playable characters too, and so on and so forth. And the last remaining character that had been playable in, well, almost every game was the Miis. The Miis have been playable characters since the first game all the way to Rio. And then in Tokyo Olympics, they just disappeared. And we all know that, how can I put this? Sega, since this one was published by Sega alone, Tokyo, they decided not to include Miis, which made me disappointed. A lot. So, how about in the next game, bring back the Miis. Please. Please. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. We all were extremely mad that when Nintendo Switch Sports was announced, that we all thought the Miis was not going to return. And we kinda, well, let's just say, I was one of those people who reacted the same way as most other people on the internet did. But we're all glad that the Miis are in Nintendo Switch Sports. It's so easy to say Wii Sports, but it's hard to say Nintendo Switch Sports. Now I get to talk about the main new characters as part of the main roster. As like the guest characters, these characters will be playable at all events because they're part of the main team. And those characters from the Mario side will be Toad, Toadette, Rosalina, Birdo, Tikal, and Boo. Birdo will be an all-around character. Toad and Toadette will be speed characters. Tikal and Boo will be skill character. And Rosalina will be a power character, which would be kind of weird, but because of her weight, it justifies to me, at least. To me, it justifies Rosalina being a power character. And for the Sonic side, it'll be even more weirder. Because I chose Big, Omega, Rouge, Sticks, Cream, and Jet. Jet would be a speed character. Big and Omega would be power characters. Sticks and Cream would be all-around characters. And Rouge would be skill character. And I know Sticks is from Sonic Boom and the franchise is not around anymore, but Sega still owns the right to Sticks, so, and she did appear in Rio, so I justify Sticks returning for the main cast. And besides, they're not gonna use Sticks anytime soon unless, Sega decided to put Sticks in a mainline game. So, yeah. Now let me talk about the guest characters a little bit more. The guest characters are basically like rival characters from Mario and Sonic. However, they're already playable from the start. You don't have to unlock them. You can play as the guest characters, but they only be able to play one event. Just one. And those characters from the Mario side is Peachette, Dry Bones, Nabbit, Koopa, and Pauline. And I know what you're thinking, Peachette is just a transformation for Toadette, but if you can face Dry Bowser as a boss in this game, then Peachette can be a guest character. And on the Sonic side, the guest characters will be Wave, Espio, Charmy, Tikal, and Storm. And I know Tikal is a weird choice, but ever since they brought back a bunch of old characters to Sonic Forces Speed Battle, I think it's good to bring back a little bit of nostalgia, especially from characters that haven't made an appearance in a long time. The last thing I want to talk about before I go to the next part of my video are the rival characters. The rival characters are basically like the bosses in the Mario and Sonic games. But this time I'm adding a little bit of a twist to these rival characters. Unlike in the previous game, rival characters can only be playable in one event. But rival characters in this game can play two events. But you still have to unlock them. You have to beat them first in order to play as them. And those characters are, for the Mario side, Larry, Wendy, Ludwig, Morton, and Dry Bowser. And on the Sonic side is Zavok, Zaz, Xena, Chaos, and Eggman Nega. And Okay, to be honest, I'm kind of stretching it with Chaos because I'm still a bit upset about Sonic Forces. Mainly because, in Sonic Forces, I thought we were gonna fight Chaos. But instead, we did not fight Chaos. In fact, he just appeared in the cutscene. And that's it. Still disappointed about Sonic Forces. Next, I'm going to talk about the events, or what events should be playable. I won't be able to talk about the Winter Olympics events, mostly because I believe Sega doesn't have the rights to make any winter games, sports anymore. I believe the rights owned by Ubisoft now. But anyways, as you all know, events are basically the events, the sports, or the competition that the athletes have to play. Some are good, some are hard, and some are a little bit tricky. But I'm going to give my opinion of the events. Well, I can't really list all events, but let me get this off my chest first. For one thing, I think Tokyo 2020 did something interesting, like they made all the characters wear athletic clothes, and they have different shoes. So I think it's a good idea for almost every character to dress like this for the actual Olympic, for every sports. Even characters like Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Bowser Jr. to wear clothes. I can't really see characters like Boo or Metasonic to wear clothes, mostly because I don't ever see them wear anything or have any clothes on. Well, shirts wise or shoes wise, but you know what I mean. We all know the basic Olympic sports that are always in the game already, like track and field, like, the 100-meter dash. I think that was called it, or 100 meters. The long jump. That even have sports that goes in the water, like the 110. I actually don't remember what the sport is called. Swimming. I'm just gonna do swimming, which is very cute because Sonic can't swim. So in that event, Sonic the only one gets a handicap because he can't swim, so they gave him a life jacket. They even have sports like archery in the game. But what you don't know is that the reason why they keep switching sports is not because to make the game interesting. Well, it is make each game interesting, but it's also because they're following the actual Olympic game based off the events shown in the current games. What I'm saying is that basketball, you 3-on-3, you drill the ball, shoot the ball into the hoop. I believe if they add that sport in the game, you have to choose for the first time ever, you have to choose 3 characters instead of 2 or 4 or 1. And you have to actually play a game of basketball. Or they can go the cheap route like Mario Sports Mix and do 2-on-2, but it'd be more interesting if they did 3-on-3. And I just can't wait to see how certain characters play basketball. But another sport they could add to the game, it could be tennis. It's like badminton, but it's a little bit more interesting. And by interesting, I mean I tried tennis and badminton as a kid. I hated both. But at least tennis, I get to move around and hit the ball, not stand in one place and hope I get over the net. Yeah, that's how I feel about badminton, sorry. But they all get a racket and they try to move around and hit the ball. It will be kind of like a cheap version of Mario Tennis. But it will still have Mario in it, but it will also have Sonic in it, so it'll be good. Okay, this next sport I had to look up because I did not know what handball is. So after watching some videos on YouTube and then asking my brother, turns out handball is kind of like a mixture of soccer and football. Well, you basically have to, well, not move around, well, you move around, but instead of like passing the ball, well, you pass the ball by throwing it, and you carry the ball in your hands like football. It's a mix of football and American football. That's all you need to know. And it'll be actually very cool to see playing that game. It's kind of like rugby. I find rugby interesting. But handball is a sport that not a lot of games or games in general have. Video games have. So adding handball to the Olympic Games or Mario Sonic would be very cool. The next event I want to talk about that they should add is hockey. Okay, I know hockey's already in the Winter Olympics, but since I'm pretty sure they're not going to make another Winter Olympic Games, then, well, Mario and Sonic won't be in another Winter Olympics. They should add hockey, but in summer event without skates, plus shoes. It's a sport. Look it up. The last thing I want to talk about is something called Modern Pentathlon. If I mispronounced the name, please tell me. It's a sport that would judge one athlete, if I read it correctly. An athlete had to participate in 5 different sports, and your score will be calculated not how fast you do it, but how well you do it as well. And I remember it combines running, swimming, shooting, fencing, and horseback riding. In Mario and Sonic, they probably wouldn't do it in that exact order. They would probably do different sports. Probably like shooting, running, swimming, probably horseback riding, and in the end, discus throw. And they'll be judged by not by how fast you finish, but how well you threw that discus and how you jump. So it's probably the last unlockable event. It probably an event that you have to unlock. But let's just say every event will be different. Some will be removed from the game, some events will be added to the game. Like I said, it all depends what Olympic is going to be and what events going to be in the real Olympic Games. Now we get to the more interesting parts. The dream events. If you don't know, they're basically like regular events if it was made for a Mario or a Sonic game. With gimmicks, fun, it's like mini games. Like a modern Mario Live, Sonic Live version of the regular Olympic Games events. But I want to get this off my chest too. I know I already got this off my chest, but there's another thing I want to get off my chest. For the dream events, every character will wear normal clothes. Well, they're not what they normally wear. Like Mario in his overall, Bowser without clothes, even Peach and Daisy in their dresses, not their outfits, because Mario Party. So what you actually see them in the games is what they're actually going to wear in those dream events. But I say dream events are like a dream come true because you can see what places can be used for certain events. And here's my ideas for what they can do for certain places for dream events. Just picture this for a second. Imagine for a dream skateboarding, you race around Metal City from Sonic Riders. It's a perfect place for it because Sonic Riders uses hoverboards and does skateboarding. And there's so many ramps to use. I think that would be a perfect place for dream skateboarding. Or just imagine rock climbing or dream sports climbing of rock candy mines in from New Super Mario Bros. U, where you have to climb as high you can while dodging obstacles like fireballs, spike balls from spikes, or even swoopers. I think it would be an amazing idea. Or even imagine doing Dream Karate in Dragon Road from Sonic Unleashed, where like you have to. It's kind of similar to the Dream event in Tokyo in the Tokyo 2020, but instead all the characters have health bars, and you have to try to be the last one standing while avoiding punch, kicks, and special moves. Another perfect example would be Dream Football in the Wasteland from Mario Strikers Charged. Well, like, it seems like a normal soccer game, but over time, lightning would come and strike down exactly where the ball is. So, anyone who's close to the ball when lightning strikes would be electrocuted and paralyzed for a certain amount of time. However, there won't be any electric fins because it's not Strikers. I miss that game. And I miss how it used to be. A very interesting idea I have is dream shooting in the White Park Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2, where players be on a roller coaster and they have to shoot all the targets they see before they pass by. And they also have to watch out for, well, there'll be golden targets where you shoot, you get double the points, or where you hit the target. But you have to watch out for like black ones, because that you will lose negative points, and where you aim or hit the target is how much points you will lose. My last idea for a dream event is dream swimming in Jolly Roger Bay from Super Mario 64, where characters or players swim underwater and they have to swim for a long time without losing breath. So what I say, you have to swim while trying to collect air bubbles. And if you run out of breath, you swim back up, but you have to swim back down to finish the race because the finish line is underwater. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of interesting places that you can do dream events, but most of the time I normally see dream events from Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, and like Mario Kart games, surprisingly. In fact, I see more effort in the location for Mario than Sonic, but in Tokyo Olympics, there was more effort in the Sonic side than the Mario side. But if you got a more interesting place for an event, for a dream event, please tell me in the comment below. We're getting close to the end, and now we're going to talk about 2D events. Well, this is going to be very short compared to the other ones, mostly because, how could I put this? 2D events was created when, in the newest game, Tokyo 2020, where the celebration of Tokyo being selected for the Olympics again, they decided to make 2D events, basically showing what happened if Nintendo and Sega decided to make Olympic Games in this golden age. So let me get this out the way first. Well, I'm gonna get this out of the way quick. We all know for those type of events, they use the sprites from Super Mario Brothers, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 to give more of a, how could I put this, good vibe, or nostalgia vibe. But now that Nintendo and Sega are making, well, they bring back pixelated versions, I think it's good, well not good, but it's be better if they updated their, the sprites a little bit. You know, like, use the pixel or the 8-bit and 16-bit of the characters from Super Mario Maker 2 and Sonic Mania. As for the playable characters and those type of events, it will all be the same like last time. Mario, Sonic, Bowser, Eggman, Luigi, Tails, Peach, and Knuckles. No new characters because they really don't have that many characters around the old days. So we're just going to keep those the same. But there's one thing I wanted to point out, and this is the last thing I want to talk about for the 2D section. I think the Mario and Sonic franchise should only add 2D events. Only if it's from a place that already been an Olympic once. Like, since Tokyo hosts the Olympic Games more than one time, then it's appropriate. But if it's a new place that haven't hosted the Olympic Games yet, then they should not have the 2D events, because it wouldn't make sense in my eyes. The last and final thing I would like to talk about are the modes. You know, like common modes, like single player, multiplayer. You know, those type of things. Because there are some things that I wish that they kept around, and there are some things that I wish they didn't add. But I'm going to tell you what they shouldn't add, and that may surprise you all. For one thing, what they shouldn't add is a story mode. You know, like from the Tokyo games. And at first, it was an interesting story, playing as Mario and Sonic in the retro world, and playing as Luigi and Tails in the modern world. But I realized, when you play all the events, it's not that fun anymore, especially since you already try out all the events yourself. So, yeah. Next time, don't add a story mode, well, at least that story mode where you have to play a certain character and it's not your favorite. But I will tell you what they should add to the game. Number 1 is an online mode, of course. They should keep that. But another thing they should add, or bring back, is mission mode, where you have to complete an event while doing missions, like sometimes easy, like when the game under this amount of time, and sometimes hard, like jump exactly at a 45-degree angle. That was on the DS version, and I hated that mission. And each character has their own set of missions. It's not always the same all the time. And when you finish, and you complete all the missions for a certain character, you have to face off their rival in the most hardest setting ever. Like, for example, if you beat all of Sonic missions, you have to face Mario. Or you finish all Amy's missions, you have to face off against Peach. But I believe that Well, this is where I think that what they should add. If you complete all of a character's missions and beat their rival, you can make them a star character. And if you don't know what a star character is, it's basically like it's basically making them like an advanced version of the characters. Like what you see in Mario Superstar Baseball or Mario Tennis, Power Tennis. Those type of characters. They improve their stats. And there's not any disadvantages of using a star character. Because it improves all the stats. Even their worst stats, they improve on. Another mode what they should bring back is Festival mode. And I know it's kind of like story mode, but at the same time, it is not. Where you basically go around, where you basically try every sport in, kind of like the actual Olympic Games. Where you have to practice certain events while participating in real events. And you also have to face off rivals, just like in Mario Sonic the Winter Games. And I forgot to say this in the last picture, but another mode that should come back is Circus mode, where you actually make your own tournament, or play a certain tournament, or competition, cup, event. Circuit mode, you make your own. Circus mode, you play an event to earn a trophy. But Festival mode is basically like the story mode, but you need to unlock all the events to unlock Festival mode. And the only way to unlock all the events is by playing Circus mode. And you need to get third place or higher in order for it to count. Another event, a mode they should add, is like a London party. Well, not exactly London party, but whatever country or nation they're in, where you go around, kind of similar. I really did enjoy London Party with my friends, at least. Where you go around collecting things, collecting stickers, doing kind of like short mini games of a main game. It was fun. And another thing they should bring back, all the Mii costumes or outfits where you can dress your Mii's up in clothes and you can change the stats based on what clothes they wear. And if for example you wear like costumes, you get to see costumes based off Mario and Sonic characters, you get to see what type of characters they are once you wear them. I like that. And the last thing I want to talk about, and the last mode, and this will be the last thing I talk about, will be the records. Or my data. Where like you get to see your records. I believe that it should be good if you can save the replays of some events, because I think some events are very close. But I think it would be even better that if you break the record in the event, in any event, you get to see not only the actual world record in real life, but it will tell you a little bit more about the sports, kind of like the gallery mode in the first Mario Sonic game, but it feels like you actually earn that unlock. And with that said, I am done, and boy, I am exhausted. And believe me, it is not. This seems like it's just an easy videos to make, but no, it's not. To be honest, it took me 5 hours to make straight. Mostly because I keep on messing up my lines, and yeah. All I have to say is I really do like the Mario Sonic games, but if they keep doing what they're doing, people are not going to be interested in this franchise anymore. And we all know why there's not really a Mario Sonic platformer, because if it is a Mario Sonic platformer, it's going to follow Mario way of gaming or Sonic way of gaming. It's going to be like, take your pace, or you have to beat the level in a amount of time. But yeah, these two icons are still great. I still love them. But if you have any suggestions on how to make this game better, please tell me in the comment below. If you don't like the way I express things, like any character suggestions, please tell me below. And if you have any other games you want me to give any improvements to, please tell me. But until then, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.